From the swirling chaos of time and space, a terrifying truth echoes through the TARDIS corridors. The Doctor may have only scratched the surface of evil. A new era dawned with Ncuti Gatwa's dazzling arrival as the 15th Doctor. Bold, radiant, hopeful. But even stars cast shadows. And within these shadows, 5 villains, each more twisted than the last. Wait, watching, ready. These aren't just enemies of time. These are curses, old and new, destined to return. Because some doors, once opened, never truly close. And now, we ask, which of these monsters will strike first? And what will they take from the Doctor when they do? Maestro, the god who heard your soul. Screaming music once saved worlds. Now, it may be the instrument of their destruction. In The Devil's Chord, Maestro didn't just attack with sound, they shattered the soul. Their symphony infected every note, every heartbeat, warping history itself. Cloaked in twisted glamour, Jinx Monsoon's Maestro wasn't a villain. They were a force, chaotic, unpredictable, and divine. Maestro didn't fall. They resonated beyond defeat. As Ruby played her last desperate chord, the Doctor didn't celebrate victory. He stared into the silence, haunted by what lingered beneath it. But the true horror? Henry Arbinger, the eternal student, the untouched harbinger. He stood at the end, unchanged by time, smiling, watching, waiting. Because the music hasn't ended. It's only paused. When the final note plays again, will the Doctor be able to face Maestro? Or will he join their cursed choir? Roger Ap Gwilliam, the man who wins with words. Not every monster wears claws. Some wear suits, some win elections. In 73 Yards, Aneurin Barnard's Roger Ap Gwilliam wasn't a howling alien or a galactic tyrant. He was far more terrifying, a man we could elect. Charismatic, calculated, poison wrapped in patriotism. Ruby saw his rise, and the slow-motion collapse of a country beneath his lies. What made him chilling wasn't what he did, but what he planned. Nuclear escalation, control through fear, a total dismantling of truth. In the alternate timeline, Ruby stopped him. But now that path is gone, and with it, the last defense against his ascent. Gwilliam's story isn't over, it's just begun. And the next time the Doctor meets him, he may not be able to undo the future. Because how do you stop a villain? Who convinces the world that you are the threat? The midnight entity, the monster that becomes you. It doesn't roar, it doesn't run, it whispers. And once it speaks with your voice, you are already gone. Season 15's The Well peeled back the layers of space-time to expose an ancient terror. The return of the midnight entity. Unseen, untouchable, unknowable. For years we believed it was gone, devoured by silence. But darkness, true darkness, never dies. This was no sequel. This was an escalation. No walls could hold it. No mind could resist it. It didn't just mimic, it invaded. And this time, the entity left the surface. One survived. One escaped. One became something else. Could there be more? Are they multiplying? Worse? Is one already inside someone we trust? The Doctor once feared the silence. But what happens when silence speaks back? Conrad Clark, the lie that went viral. A cage couldn't hold him, and truth couldn't stop him. Jonah Howard Kings. Conrad Clark isn't a god or an alien. He's a man, but one armed with the most dangerous weapon of all, a viral lie. Lucky Day gave us a front-row seat to madness cloaked in conspiracy, as Conrad launched a movement to discredit everything UNIT had fought to protect. Beaten, imprisoned, exposed. It should have ended there. But Anita Dobson's Mrs. Flood knew better. She opened the cell, released the chaos. Because the idea, the disease, Conrad spread, still festers. A movement with 1 million voices. And now, Conrad is free. Wounded, yes, but more dangerous than ever. When the Doctor next meets Conrad, it won't be behind bars. It'll be behind a podium, with half the world cheering his name. Every star in the sky watched his world burn. And he never forgot. In the Interstellar Song Contest, Freddie Fox's kid wasn't just a villain. He was a victim who chose vengeance. His species, the Hellions, were scapegoated, slaughtered, erased. And now, he lives only to return the favor. But what set Kid apart wasn't just the genocidal plan. It was the connection. The look he shared with the doctor, one broken soul to another, and the chilling promise. "I'll see you again." The doctor replied with ice in his voice, pain in his eyes, because Kid reminded him of everything he buried. The time war, the choices, the bodies. They're more alike than either will admit. And when Kid returns, will the doctor fight him or become him? Because sometimes it's not the enemy who changes the doctor, it's the mirror he holds up. Mrs. Flood, the cryptic watcher with unknown powers. Mrs. Flood, played by Anita Dobson, has remained one of the most mysterious and unsettling figures in the Ncuti Gatwa era of Doctor Who. Introduced subtly in The Church on Ruby Road, her true identity is never clarified, but her actions and cryptic statements suggest she is far more than an ordinary neighbor. She's often seen observing Ruby and the Doctor with unnerving awareness, and her tendency to break the fourth wall implies a deeper connection to time, space, or perhaps even the pantheon introduced this season. Her cryptic final words in multiple episodes, along with her release of Conrad Clark from prison, indicate she's working toward an unknown larger agenda. Whether she is part of the pantheon, a Time Lord in disguise, or something else entirely, her involvement seems far from over. A future showdown, or shocking reveal, feels inevitable. The pantheon, the ongoing divine threat. Now that Doctor Who has officially introduced a pantheon of villainous gods, it's likely the Toymaker and Maestro are just the beginning. With hints at a full pantheon of divine beings, each with their own cosmic domain and rules, the show has opened the door to an entire new class of recurring antagonists. These aren't just villains of the week, they are powerful, eternal forces that could clash with the Doctor across time and reality. Given how the Harbinger system works, foreshadowing the presence of each deity, the series has an easy mechanism to build suspense and continuity. If Maestro and the Toymaker represent music and games, who represents chaos, fear, love, or death? The show now has rich potential to explore each god, and Ncuti Gatwa's Doctor could become their most defiant challenger. The Shrieks, Unit's alien enforcers with a dark edge. Although not framed as villains initially, the Shrieks, biomechanical alien creatures under Unit's command, may pose a major threat down the line. In Lucky Day, one of these creatures is unleashed on Conrad Clark at Kate Stewart's command, severely injuring him. While this act is portrayed as justified, it highlights Unit's increasing militarization and moral gray areas under stress. If the Shrieks gain more independence or fall under the control of a more malicious power, they could easily become tools of oppression, or turn on their human allies entirely. In a future storyline, a rogue unit operation or corrupted leader could weaponize these creatures against innocents or even the Doctor himself, setting up a brutal conflict. They weren't one-time foes. They were beginnings, warnings, seeds. Maestro's music still hums beneath the stars. Gwilliam's future waits for the Doctor to blink. The entity listens. Conrad walks free with a smile and a lie. And Kid? He never forgets. The 15th Doctor's journey has just begun. But so have theirs. And as each villain sharpens their weapon, hides their face, and plans their move, we're left with a question that could haunt time itself. What if next time, the Doctor doesn't